Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Eloisa Ramos, and I am here with my friends and my daughter. Hi, Lori, Connie, Teresa, Sonia, and we are studying Course in Miracles. We are on Chapter 10, The Idols of Sickness, and we're going to read the introduction today. Paragraph 1. Nothing beyond yourself can make you fearful or loving, because nothing is beyond you. Time and eternity are both in your mind and will conflict until you perceive time solely as a means to regain eternity. You cannot do this as long as you believe that anything happening to you is caused by factors outside yourself. You must learn that time is solely at your disposal and that nothing in the world can take this responsibility from you. You can violate God's laws in your imagination, but you cannot escape from them. They were established for your protection and are and inviolate as your safety. Okay. Okay, so I mean the main point of the paragraph here is that our mind is causal, and it is the only level that's causal. So nothing beyond us can make us anything fearful or loving, because it because all of it is what we are. So time and eternity are both in our mind and will conflict until you perceive time solely as the means to regain eternity. So we have these two thought systems. One of them is based in time and the other one is not based in time. It's eternal. And only one is real. But as long as we believe we're in time, we will experience conflict between these two thought systems because we are in our wrong mind. We are believing that eternity has an opposite. We're believing that truth has an opposite, and therefore we believe that conflict is possible. And the way out of this conflict is really to use time solely as a means to regain eternity, which is what the Holy Spirit is. Holy Spirit's, that's the purpose of the Holy Spirit, is to help us heal our mind so that we can remember that we were never in time. We've always been with God in eternity. Yeah, and this line 3 right here, because we're talking about sickness in this section here. Okay, line 3 is really really the basis for the healing of the mind here. Okay, because you cannot do this as long as you believe that anything happening to you is caused by factors outside yourself. Okay, because the minute that we think, because that's what the Course calls level confusion. The minute we think that the cause is separate from our mind, okay, that it's outside of ourself, then how can we change anything? How can anything be healed if we're not the cause? We can't. Okay, we're basically blocking healing. We're afraid of healing there when we do that. Yes. And so the other thing is that we must learn that time is solely at our disposal. So a lot of times we think, oh my God, I don't have enough time. Time is running out. Um, I'm in a hurry because I have all these things to do because there's not enough time, and time controls me. Okay, and this is saying, no, no, no. Look, the only thing you have in this world is time. So it is solely at your disposal. And nothing not a deadline at work, or not, I have to catch the train at 9 o'clock, can take that responsibility away from you. So in the line 5 is also it's also very reassuring, because it says, okay, yeah, you can believe that you can violate God's laws, okay, because we can believe in that we can attack God, that we can attack others, that the mind can attack, and that's in our imagination. So we can believe in all that, okay. Um, let's see, you can violate God's laws in your imagination, but you cannot escape them there. Yes. So just because we believe that God's laws are somehow not powerful and can be attacked, that doesn't mean that we can escape from them, because in truth, they are all powerful. So just because we imagine and believe otherwise, that does not change God's laws. They're non-changing. That's why they're eternal. And it's reassuring, because it says they were established for your protection and are inviolate as your safety. So in truth, we are never unsafe. In truth, we are never threatened, because the true self is eternal. So nothing can threaten the true self. And that goes for eternity, because it's the same thing. Okay, number 2.
God created nothing beside you, and nothing beside you exists, for you are part of him. What except him can exist? Nothing beyond him can happen, because nothing except him is real. Your creations add to him as you do, but nothing is added that is different, because everything has always been. What can upset you except the ephemeral? I don't know how to pronounce that. And how can the ephemeral be real if you are God's only creation and he created you eternal? Your holy mind establishes everything that happens to you. Every response you make to everything you perceive is up to you, because your mind determines your perception of it. I don't know what the word ephemeral means.
Mm-hmm. It's
Is that
another word.
right?
Yeah, it's another word for illusion,
Oh,
for unreality.
okay.
So the ephemeral doesn't last. It's like, in a desert, you're dying of thirst, and you see your mind is seeing an oasis. That's a hallucination. Yeah. And
Mirage.
when a mirage, there you go. And when you get there, it's not there. It's ephemeral. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
hmm Um, Yeah, so this is really just stating the truth here about what we are. And it's really, in the beginning of the course, it summarizes the course. It says, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. And that's basically what this is saying. Um, yes, so God created us real, and nothing but reality besides what we are exists, because we are a part of him. God is reality. Um, and what except him can exist? Well, nothing else except God, except reality, is except as what we are in truth, can exist. So it's basically saying the ego does not exist, the separation does not exist, none of that is real. Um, so nothing beyond him can happen. Okay. Because nothing except him is real. Now this, it takes a lot, because we're used to thinking of world events as happenings. oh yeah, that happened. That really happened. That's a fact. Okay. And now we have to retrain our mind and say, okay, well, wait a minute. Okay. This is time. Time is not real. And and none of this is happening. So that's a pretty, 180 degree there. Because we believe what our eyes see. That's what it is. And our eyes do not really see. Okay. All the lesson, everything I see is the past, right? My eyes see only the past. Okay. So because everything I think is only the past. So, and it's not there, it's over and done with. Um,
It's
yes. So
ephemeral.
it's ephemeral. And we are so used to looking at things in the world as real, physical objects. We look at them as real, as not ephemeral. But because they're not eternal, they're here one day and then they're not there. I remember one time I went to the post office and what I remembered, I went in to buy postage stamps and I go in and I'm looking around and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm confused. I go, where is the machine? It was a machine that gave stamps and it was no longer there. And I stood there for a minute and I'm like, okay, so they took out the machine. Okay. Did I just think that that was permanent or something? I must have thought that was permanent. Okay. Because it threw me for a loop. You get used to seeing things in a certain way, and then you expect to see them that way. And then when you go in and they're not like that, it's like, whoa, you know, like that wasn't supposed to happen. So it was just kind of funny. Okay. So the other thing here is see, 6, your holy mind establishes everything that happens to you. Okay. Every response you make to everything you perceive is up to you because your mind determines your perception of it. Okay. So this is a world of perception. And and the course says that in the first separation, when we chose perception over knowledge, um, um, let's see, we became conscious. So that's what consciousness is. It's the first perception, but it's also a perceiver, and therefore a perceiver determines what it sees. That's interpretation. That's judgment. So with our judgments, we see what we want to see, which is delusion. Okay, because it's not the truth. That's the whole point of perception, is that it's not knowledge, it's not absolute, it's subjective. So I can look at this situation one way, and Sonia can look at it completely different. And hey, we can disagree. We can even fight about it if we want to, but neither of them is absolute truth because it's still perception. We can come we can come close to in its true perception because it's reflecting the truth very accurately, or it can be really, really, really distorted um, to the point where, uh, it's the truth is completely unrecognizable, and that's basically the false perception. Um, but it's in our mind, and our mind determines how we want to see things. And that's why we can change our mind and um, and open it to receive true perception and healing. Um, okay, number 3.
God does not change his mind about you, for he is not uncertain of himself. And what he knows can be known because he does not know it only for himself. He created you for himself, but he gave you the power to create for yourself so you would be like him. That is why your mind is holy. Can anything exceed the love of God? Can anything then exceed your will? Nothing can reach you from beyond it because, being in God, you encompass everything. Believe this, and you will realize how much is up to you. When anything threatens your peace of mind, ask yourself, has God changed his mind about me? Then accept his decision, for it is indeed changeless, and refuse to change your mind about yourself. God will never decide against you, or he would be deciding against himself.
Okay. Okay, anything with this paragraph? Okay, so this is really it's giving us a way here to deal with fear. So when anything threatens, line 9, when anything threatens your peace of mind, okay, ask yourself, has God changed his mind about me? Okay, because the first line in the paragraph starts with, God does not change his mind about you, for he is not uncertain of himself. Well, God is absolute truth. It's knowledge. There is no uncertainty in God. Okay, and the certainty is that he created us holy, that our mind is holy. From the paragraph right above 6, your holy mind establishes everything that happens to you. Okay, so um when there's fear, okay, when we allow fear to enter into our mind, okay, we want to remind ourselves by asking this, has God changed his mind about me? In other words, okay, people can judge me any way they want, okay? Okay, but the real question is, has God changed his mind about me? Am I no longer holy to God? Am I no longer loving to God? Okay, and the answer is, of course not. God is always going to know me as the truth of what I am, like God. So there is no change in me. Okay. So I cannot be what you know, your upset is telling me that I am. So I cannot be guilty. Okay. Because God did not create me guilty. Okay. I cannot be sick because God did not create me sick. Okay. So, so all these thoughts that say, okay, well, you are this, and this, okay, and 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 I start believing those thoughts, I'm going to go into fear, okay, and I'm going to go into guilt, and I'm going to go believe that I have sinned, okay, because those are not the thoughts of God. They're not true. They're judgments that, I have accepted as true, but they're not really true. So this is helping us here to remember how God created us. Um, and so, and so then accept his decision, for it is indeed changeless, and refuse to change your mind about yourself, which is what the ego thought system would have us believe, that we have changed ourselves from how God created us. Okay. And so that you could say that's a return to love. That's a way to return to love and to remind ourselves of the truth of how we were created.
And that would be true perception.
Yes. That would
Perception
be,
makes projection.
yes. That would be true perception. It would also be a miracle because it would be a change of mind from wrong mind to right mind. Yeah. False perception to true perception. Yeah. Yeah. So number 4. Yeah, thank goodness. Yes, so because we are created as himself, line 4 says, that is why your mind is holy. And so that's why the lesson for today was, I can see, repeat it for me, Sonia.
God is in everything I see because
Exactly.
God is in my mind.
Because God is in my mind. Yes, so God is holiness, God is in my mind is holy, and therefore perception, okay. Number 6, your holy mind establishes everything that happens to you, and every response you make to everything you perceive is up to you, because your mind determines your perception of it. So that's a decision to perceive everything as holy, because my mind is holy. And therefore, my response to everything will be loving, because I am perceiving love, not attack. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, that's the introduction. So we'll go ahead and stop here, and we'll continue next time with section 1, at home in God. Okay, so thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.